Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 153, being recorded on the 19th of September, 2018. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Hello, Lewis, and I hope everybody's having a wonderful day.
Well, I'm definitely having a wonderful day. Thank you very much, Harrison. And Colin, are you having a wonderful day with us?
What is up with you two? I am absolutely fine, thank you.
Fine and dandy?
We're just trying to post some vibes right now. I mean, it's just we got some really good Nintendo news to talk about, and quite a hefty bit of it, and some we're excited about, and I know some that some people may not be about, but you know what? There's a lot of stuff for everybody.
There's a little tease.
Nice? No, I just need a quick confirmation, Colin. You are fine, but are you fine and dandy?
I'm gonna go with yes.
Yes. All right, that's cool.
All right, we got a thumbs there.
Part of the dandy club. Okay, so our main feature this week is going to be about last week's Nintendo Direct, and there was a lot announced, and so there's a lot to discuss. But before then, we have the season finale for Content Provider, the 4th episode of Content Provider, which
finale. The way you describe season finale, it seems like so we're just going to be having 12 seasons of this per year.
Yeah, seems all right. It's a new thing. Game shows and podcasts, never been done before, not once.
I would suggest the 1/12th season finale or something like that, like what would you call that? Okay, yeah, mid-season finale. Would you just call it one?
Something? I don't know.
No. Season finale sounds grand, and it may. I would really like to do 12, succession at all Game Provider shows, but I'm not making promises at this point. However, today points are going to be given out. Scores will literally be settled, and to make things more interesting, if you weren't aware, both Colin and Harrison are playing for points. What the points are for is for our bonus episode, which we now do once a month. And the person with the most points gets to choose what that episode will be about. It can be about something Nintendo, or it can be about something completely different. And it's the show that everyone gets to do, or the three of us do. And it's going to be a Patreon exclusive show on patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. Currently, the scores stand at Harrison with 0, Colin with 1, and the house myself with 3. Now, what makes the season finale
on that. Yes.
a little bit interesting, a little bit more interesting, is we play for triple points.
Ooh.
Which means everyone is in for the win. And the only exception to the triple points rule, and there's quite a few rules in this game, which are all required for the fun. And at the end, if the winner decides to double their points, if they lose, normally the house gets those points. Those points aren't tripled. So they are standard. I've crunched the numbers. That makes it the perfectly balanced system across all game shows. This is essentially fine art.
Yeah. Balance. I demand a cash prize for this right now.
If anyone should be getting a cash prize, it should definitely be the house here for setting up the entire system.
I want my eShop points. Come on.
We'll see about that for future seasons. The theme, though, because there's always a theme. You got to have a theme. Got to put the effort in. Is all about NES classic games.
Oh no!
On the NES Classic.
Never heard of them, Lewis. What are these you speak of?
Is that that's bad news for you, because that's exactly what this is about. But specifically of the games which are available on the Nintendo Switch Online service as of today. And so I will be giving you 4 games, and one of them isn't part of the Nintendo Switch Online service. The other 3 will be.
Can I just say that I started up once and glanced at the games. I did not commit them to memory.
Aren't these all different by region, though? That's the thing.
No.
Okay.
Well, to be specific, this is the American listing. I believe European and American have the exact same list for Nintendo Switch Online. From my checks. But they're different on the classics. So don't get too confused.
I actually do like. Well, you technically can access the different regions. I know that, and look at their and download it. And I like I said, I actually appreciate the Famicom box art a little bit more.
So yeah, the Famicom controllers, and it is a slightly different selection of. No, actually, no, it isn't different selection of games, but you do get those versions, as it were. There are obviously regional variants, like music, and obviously some other little bits as well. However, let's jump straight into question number 1. The 4 games, and remember, you're picking the one which isn't part of the Nintendo Switch Online service.
Isn't you say, just to clarify?
Is not.
It's not.
The other 3 will be. Okay. And it's the first to guess the right one after all the answers, which there will be 4, have been read out. Let's go. We've got Balloon Fight, Castlevania, Baseball, and Donkey Kong.
Castlevania.
Correct. Harrison gets the first episode point, which I will be renaming on season 2 to save confusion because there's 2 sets of points. Question 2. Double Dragon, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
from Harrison's reaction, I'm guessing you got it right, Colin. But my side, it sounded more like Harrison.
Does anybody have?
I'm giving it to Harrison.
Okay, I was gonna say if you had a coin, if you have a tiebreaker, get a coin.
What sort of fairness is that?
Well, that's what I heard. I'm on the house. I heard Harrison first.
Oh, jeez.
There could have been a need people in the chat to like adjudicate this as well. Like, who did they hear first?
We'll do that next time. We don't have time for that now. It's too late.
No. If you actually slow down what Colin says right there, it's him saying like Final Fantasy VIII is underrated.
The problem is Colin edits the show, so I'm sure on the audio version, very clear who answers first.
Get ready for that.
No manipulation, I'm sure, will be put into work there.
No shenanigans, Paul.
No shenanigans. Question 3: Ghost and Goblins, Kirby's Adventure, Gradius, Ice Climber.
Kirby's Adventure.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah, I'm shocked that's not on there.
I was going to say Ghosts and Goblins, but really? Oh.
Kirby's Adventures holds up extremely well.
Yeah, one of the last NES games. I believe the last first-party NES game.
That was it's Wario's Woods.
Wario's Woods, you are correct. Not an official question, unfortunately.
Like we seem to make up rules as we go along now. So
that wasn't an official question.
I'll look that up just to double check. So
okay. Well, you need to be focused because we're on question 4 now of 6. Question 4 is Ninja Gaiden, Ice Hockey, The Legend of Zelda, and Mario Bros. Oh, Colin, you were right, and you were definitely first.
Yeah. I did look it up right there. That needs to be on there. Wow. Plus, I just need to play the Messenger now. I know I'm just getting off topic, but the subject of Wario's Woods was technically the last licensed game released for the system in North America before its discontinuation in 1995. So I thought.
Oh, Harrison, bring the facts. There you go.
Also, slight mistake, Meister. There are in fact 7 questions. We always have an odd number, not 6. So, question number 5: Pro Wrestling, Punch Out featuring Mr. Dream, River City Ransom, Soccer.
Punch Out.
Correct.
Yeah,
and with that, you have secured the win. So that means with the triple point rule today, you currently have 3 points, which is the same as the house as it stands.
Yes.
Which means at the end of the episode, you will get a chance to double your points. Meaning, if you do win that, you will win the season. If you don't, however, I will get the points. They won't be tripled, but it will be enough for me to win.
What happens in the event of a tie?
On the final season episode?
Yeah.
We engage
that scenario yet.
We engage in a duel. I think that's it.
Engage in a duel.
Yeah, just a series of rock, paper, scissors at that point, I think.
There we go.
The gentlemanly way to decide. Okay, with that done, Game Provider, I hope you enjoy. Do let us know. Do give us feedback on Twitter at Nintendo Voice, or chuck us an email, hello@nintendovoice.com. Generally would appreciate any feedback on Game Provider, content provider even. So let's jump straight into our main topic today, which was of the Nintendo Direct. And so this was obviously very anticipated. It was also delayed, of course, due to the earthquake in Japan. And it was shown last week. And so apologies also. We were meant to record last week, but we didn't. There was technical difficulties on my side.
What was that? What was that? Why was that, Lewis?
Bad internet, mostly.
See, we argued on before, like once we because after when the Direct was ending, because like this would be the first time we hey, we record like post Direct or something like that. So like we get, I think that'd been the first time we'd done it in a while, and then Lewis gets the internet issues, and we just said, do we have to put a Patreon tier to get Lewis some decent internet?
I've been asking for ideas for ages, Harrison. I do appreciate that one.
Hey, I'm willing to help right now. I can't really get Google Fiber to come over to here to UK for you or anything like that.
No, maybe I can go to there. That's the solution. That's what the tier is for. Get Lewis to Google Fiber. I'm sure there's no more sensible solution in between.
No, of course, just run a cable on the Atlantic would be great.
But we had a lot of cool announcements. I think maybe a good place to start is where the Direct started.
Okay.
Which was with Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
Which didn't necessarily know it was going to be that.
Ooh.
I mean, it was, to be fair, in high definition and did look a lot better than a 3DS game. But I think it caught most people off guard.
Well, it was a genuine surprise. How about that for a concept these days? It was amazing. Because it was leaked. Most stuff gets leaked these days, and it wasn't.
That's true. Yeah, there's no rumblings or rumors on a new Luigi's Mansion, really. Not even really in general.
Yeah.
Like how there are for Pikmin and such. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's some founded things, but it's also been so long. But it's is it? When's the next Pikmin? And there's very rarely I hear, if ever, when's the next Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I mean, we most of it was like what we would expect from a Luigi's Mansion game. I think one of the unique things was kind of when the title screen appeared and in the background you could see the mansion, and it was many stories like a tower, maybe a hotel or
as I say, it's like Luigi's Hotel. Yeah, intriguing.
What about Hotel Mario?
Oh, that's a classic. That needs to be remastered.
They can't use that, so maybe just Hotel Luigi, which would. They have to call it Luigi's Mansion, though. Well, I guess could it just be Luigi's horror hotel? Would that?
He's horror hotel.
I do like how I do like how even with a brief bit, I saw Game Explain did a 27-minute analyzing video of what was essentially
15 seconds long.
I know that's what they are able to do that.
Why?
Got to get that sweet content out there, Colin.
I guess.
Dude, I bet that stuff takes quite a while to put it together, to give them credit.
But I know I applaud them for something like that. It's all the work that goes into a.
Are we trying
small tangent. Did anyone here watch their final Breath of the Wild breakdown, which was I think 2 hours long?
I got about a third of fourth of the way through it, where I realized, okay, this is well put together, but I gotta go. I gotta go to war. I didn't have the time.
Yeah, I digested that one in chunks, but I got to respect the amount of background research and all the different videos of people playing it and such, and building up the map just themselves.
There is such a thing.
Landmarks.
Trying too hard.
Wow.
I want you to try. I want you to try,
Colin.
I just want to put that out there. Such a thing as trying too hard.
Oh, fair enough. No fun. But, I'm guessing we're thinking Luigi's Mansion is a good. It's going to be on a good home on the Switch.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I also, when you mentioned about the mansion, like the whole tower or terror / mansion thing they're doing, is that I'm glad it's now kind of a little bit more one central location. As someone who really loved Luigi's Mansion's Dark Moon, but that was like scattered throughout several mansions or levels. I think 5 or 6, I think. My memory's a little fuzzy on it, and while I like that game, I'm kind of glad they're going back to what it was originally with the first game. And I did notice through the trailer, though, as far as judging by a few sound effects that they're on there, I think Next Level Games is making this. I could be wrong. I mean, it feels like it is.
Yeah, I don't think we've officially heard, but yeah, I mean, I would like Next Level to be making it, because they like 2 was a good game. It was solid. I mean, and to be fair, that almost sounds like I'm underplaying it. But yeah, I would like them to have more console ambition for the game, because it had very, very solid fundamentals. It was polished. Right. It was fun to play. But it was the only things I didn't really like as much was just the fact it was a deliberately more bite-sized, smaller version, which is what they aimed to do, and they succeeded in that front.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to see Luigi's Mansion being like this, almost like a graphical showcase once again. I'm not sure they go completely down that route, but it'd be fun to see what they can do with the lighting effects and everything else on the Switch.
That's one thing people tend to forget about, like the first game. I mean, it obviously people were burnt out by the fact that it was just the GameCube launched with not a traditional Mario title, and it was just you had Luigi's Mansion, which people kind of got the brunt of it got the short end of the stick from a lot of people, and it was a game I enjoyed, but
it's really good.
It was good. It was really
4 hours long.
4 or 5 hours long, and it was a technical showpiece for early on for the GameCube.
Yep.
So
no, there's not a problem with that. Star Fox 64 was a technical showpiece, and it's amazing.
Although they remade it 3 or 4 times right now, and you have to go back. Got to go back to the well somehow.
It's so good they made it 3 times. So heck,
Yeah. Well, do you reckon they'll remake it yet again?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get Star Fox 64 2 or something nonsensical like that.
We're already getting that. We're already getting it in Starlink.
That looks amazing.
That does look good.
Can we just diverge into that for a second?
Yeah, sure. Because that was on it.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we're all. We're not going in order of the direct. Obviously, we're just going to be jumping forth, whatever. But yeah, Starlink.
Starlink. And this can just extend to what we have heard about Starlink outside of the direct, either before or after. But yeah, this they've confirmed that you can play the entire game as the Star Fox team.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, from what I've seen and heard, I think it might be the best Star Fox game in quite some time.
It's the Star Fox game we've always wanted. It's just not an official Star Fox game.
I know, but I mean, it's not unofficial in that sense either. It's properly licensed and all that, and and they've been working together. It's just not
a Star Fox title.
It's not.
They just happen to be in it.
Oh, sure. But I mean, it's depending how you look at it, it's still like a Star Fox adventure, as it were, in a weird way.
He's not going around whacking things with a stick, but yeah.
fair play. It's not quite a Star Fox adventure.
I did actually like that they showed off a cinematic with Star Wolf at the end of this one. Which I felt like even in that short little clip on there, I mean, yes, that's the most character we've gotten out of him, it seems like, right there. In that little bit, I'm like, and it just begs me, I'm like, can I have more of this in that style? I mean, I'm sure it's probably in Starlink, obviously, but it's outside of it. It's just the stuff that we got from that animated Star Fox Zero anime from when that game released.
Right.
I'm just kind of climbing Star Fox is ripe for this, and I feel like it would fit so well, even if its games are just stuck on a plateau in terms of we can't get past the peak of what the series is, and we don't know where to go as far as in a different direction. So now let's just put them in cameo, let's put them in crossovers with Ubisoft games, which look incredibly promising,
and potentially weird racing games. We shall see.
Potentially.
Potentially
guys.
with Labo integration.
Oh,
no.
Definitely. So should we cover the in the direct? Should we get the 3DS stuff out of the way?
Yes, as quickly.
I love that. Like, you don't care about 3DS anymore, so here's like 5 minutes.
For some reason, we feel obliged to tell you this, despite us knowing you don't want to hear it.
It was hilarious. Absolutely, it made me laugh out loud. It was amazing.
So, I mean, we saw a little bit more of Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS. They for the first time they said there was a co-op mode.
It should be on Switch.
It should be on Switch. Apparently, that co-op mode's not necessarily that great, but it's serviceable.
It should be on Switch.
From hands-on impressions. And we also had Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn.
Yay.
So, port of the Wii game.
Yay.
Kirby's Epic Yarn. It has a hard mode now, Colin, which means you actually have a health meter and can die. That's what hard mode means in that game.
Innovation. Stand clear.
I think the game looked a little bit more better when it was on a larger TV screen, but I think people forgot to fail to realize that this is actually only available for new 3DS, but I guess that branding is just kind of just there at the moment. But
it's on internet.
Is it just new 3DS?
I believe so.
Oh, because I've seen the box art for it, and it's not labeled at all. At least not how Xenoblade Chronicles 3D was, with a banner on the top.
Like, boom, only for new 3DS.
It's no, I'm looking on Nintendo's site right.
Something else
it says yes, coming to new Nintendo 3DS.
There you are.
Oh.
Even though Nintendo have forgotten that they made an old 3DS, so I was like, well, we'll just chuck out the new one.
What's it say? Well, it says Nintendo 3DS, but the wording.
Ooh.
This is the problem with having a console upgrade that only has the word "new" in it. It's like, oh.
Well, what if we added the word "new" in front of the games? Would that help, Colin?
No.
Because we tried that first.
We did that.
And they did well.
Now, did anybody? We've all played Kirby's Epic Yarn when it was originally on the Wii, right?
No.
Oh yeah.
I've never played a Kirby game, so no.
You're just weird.
I'll take that.
So when's this one dropping?
Soon.
The date-ish.
The date is, let's see, sometime in 2019.
Really? They're going to put it out that late? I mean, 2019 is like, that's like 3 months away now, but really?
Until they actually clear a point with the Switch right now where they feel like, okay, 3DS is obviously running on fumes, but no, Vita is dead. This is still alive in some ways.
True, but guys, the 3DS is almost 8 years old. Almost 8 years old.
And I will definitely say, go to my grave saying to this point right now, it's probably going to end up being one of the best pure handhelds ever made. Why? Because essentially you have the backwards compatibility with DS games. You have a robust 3DS library of JRPGs. You have everything when it comes to a great eShop. You have a great virtual console in there.
This is a great feature. I would strongly argue that the DS was a better system overall.
Yeah, but I think with this one, when you're getting the best of what you had the DS, and you're able to transfer over what you have on the 3DS. I mean, the thing is, I felt like I really do feel like the 3DS had far better first-party games coming out of it.
The DS let you play your Game Boy Advance games with a decent screen. I'll take that.
Yeah, but that was on the DS. Well, that was until the Lite, but the still.
Light took it out. Yeah, was it Lite took it out? Was it? No, I think it was the DSi took it out, didn't it? Anyway,
they took it out. I think later. I want to say the DSi. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's DSi. Yeah.
So, but no. I think the 3DS has at least one more good holiday season out of it. Nothing big out there, but once out of that, it will be good because.
I don't know.
Hey, man. Hey, you got people who want to buy cheap. You got kids out there who want a cheap alternative.
I would say I did have I handled one of the new 2DSs the other day.
Oh, I've still not done that yet.
Very nice. Very. It feels oddly high end, even though
I was going to say, yeah. What seems to be the audience for it?
It's still aimed at children. It's not. It's still made with like the cheapest of materials and stuff. It's not, but it feels more high end than it should be. If it makes any sense, like it has a nice like click when you open the screen's up, and it's all very nice. I was like, huh.
I've heard people don't like how the stereo is essentially on the corner, so when you're holding it, part of your palms can actually be covering it up.
That is true. If you're playing on loud volumes, you can actually feel the sound, which should be a selling feature. You can feel the sound.
Yeah. I wanted to say something about the Luigi's Mansion remake, which comes out in October, which is of course close to it. Which is how timely. It's supposed to have a 2-player co-op mode, which I think you can do with download play, or I think with which apparently you have a Luigi, which is like a very weird looking one, which is just essentially a green ghost.
Because we're killing Luigi lately, I don't know what it is.
I don't know
it makes slightly more sense in this game, at least, to have a ghost form of the main character, because all the other characters are ghosts. Essentially,
I'll explain why he died in Castlevania, but okay.
Oh, I don't think the two are actually connected, Colin. That's the crazy thing.
Should be.
But yeah, like so the co-op mode, so it's download play for like a boss rush mode, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you both have the game, you can just play the full game in co-op, which is pretty cool.
It's all right.
But I can't imagine many people are going to be taking advantage of it. And
no.
From what I hear, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what is better than okay?
Yoko Watch Busters.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was still. I mean, God, I remember back.
I think that's saying enough, to be fair.
Well, we could talk. Let's just talk briefly like that. God, I remember back early on the podcast, I was always high. I'm like, this is going to be just an effect of what Pokemon is right now.
Next Pokemon
in the States, and I was like, God, I was wrong. I know there's an audience for it, but I haven't watched the TV show, but I've heard people who have been like iffy on it. So
I saw the first couple of episodes. I think like Nintendo. No, well, if I was a fan, I'd have watched a lot more than the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
But I actually did like. If there was more just easily available, I mean, there probably are. But
aren't they on Netflix?
Carried on watching it. It was quite funny.
Aren't they on Netflix?
I don't think they are over here.
Or did that change because Disney's doing their whole streaming service soon, and it's technically
Wait, is that Disney?
No, they're not owned by Disney. But Yokai Watch airs I knew it aired on Disney XD here in the States.
Right.
Okay, so they might have the licensing rights for the show.
Like
Fair, yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, well, I think that's enough said for Yoko Watch Busters. There's a third version, and it's a download, I think. Moving on.
We don't care.
We don't care. Shall we jump on the Switch stuff now?
We're after getting one 3DS title of a very good RPG, and I don't care what people say.
It wasn't. Yeah, fair enough. It's based on a very good game. So okay, I'll let you take the lead, Harrison. What we got?
Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story, which also includes plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey, which I'm assuming is another side, like what they did with the first Mario and Luigi game. They added with the 3DS, they added a Bowser's Minions minigame, which was nice. It felt like a little tactical type of like a version of what a type of RPG. And some people said this was probably the last good Mario and Luigi RPG.
Wow, really?
From what I think,
the 3DS one was pretty good. That was the first one I played.
Which one? The Mario and Luigi
Dream Team Bros.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play that one.
I've quite enjoyed it.
So this one's coming.
Should we jump to the Switch then?
Yeah, I'll say. And by the way, that Mario and Luigi, that one's coming out in mid-January of 2019. If I can just pull, let me just pull up the release date real quick. So to tell listeners, which we know, it will arrive in December 27th in Japan, and January 11th in North America, and January 25th in Europe.
Yay!
So get to enjoy all the 3DS remake goodness of this one
on your new 3DSs, big or small.
Back. Anyway.
But Switch, yeah. Let's.
The first thing I want to talk about is Town.
Into Town?
There we go. Let's go straight to Town.
We're just jumping into this. Like this is another surprise.
To be fair, this was the meatiest of the surprises.
Meatiest of announcements. So a new game by Game Freak for the Switch. It's I quite like. I'm not sure if this is regional, but they kept mentioning about how everything revolves around this village. And that's why the game's called Town.
Yeah, and not called Village.
But yeah, like it actually reminds me a bit like of like a level 5 art style.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah, I
when I
got that.
first saw this, I was like, "Oh, level 5 RPG." They're like, "Oh, made by Game Freak." I was like, "Huh, okay."
Which is a good combination.
I'll take it.
Game Freak's definitely got his pedigree. Like, it's definitely known for doing one thing, but it's done that.
I was going to say, it has its pedigree. It's known for one game.
Oh, true, but that one game's done fairly okay.
It's still alright.
It's alright. No, but knowing that we're getting
surprisingly like robust.
But we're getting, well, I'm saying Game Freak's not only working on this, I mean, we're also getting that core Pokemon RPG for next year, too. So, hey, I'm glad we're getting this as well.
And let's go in a couple months.
That, too.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't wait. Hey, I can't wait to revisit Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah, I'm getting excited for Let's Go.
It's not Pokemon Yellow, though.
It's
not like Pokemon Yellow.
It is Pokemon Yellow. I played it.
Keep telling yourselves that it's
Team Rocket. Jesse and James are in there.
Oh, they? Wow.
They are. They weren't in Red and Blue.
I am convinced now that it says Pokemon Yellow remake.
There we go. There we convinced him finally.
We did it, listeners. We did it. Now, this one's coming out in but yeah, the town they said is slated for 2019, which would shock me in the slightest, knowing that they have that Pokemon RPG coming out next year. So
the thing does feel like a smaller scale game.
Yes.
Like, I don't see this as, I could be proven wrong. I don't see this as a full price release. I think this is going to be a download only.
No, I think I can see this getting a physical release.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
maybe.
Was it Rhythm Knight?
Harmonite.
Harmonite, that's it.
Harmonite.
I feel like that. Like, I feel it's because it's all in this town. Like, I feel it's deliberately restrained. Like, it's going to be cool and have interesting concept, but it's going to be like.
I just like the concept of this like epic RPG that's all in one location.
Exactly, but I think that's kind of we shall see. But like, yeah, I reckon it might be like a download only. Them to, I don't know, work out the Switch hardware a bit. It might be interesting, like if like to see what the art style is like for the next Pokemon game, and see if it bears any sort of resemblance.
But
you know what?
Going on here?
If it's kind of close to this look, like as far as this visually, I like, or even more, I'm gonna be really impressed.
Harrison sold. There you go.
Yeah, so it'd be weird because you've obviously got to separate the difference in terms of like character design, but like art design is separate to that, and at least in terms of on the technical front, in terms of like a graphical engine and what they're working with. So there might be some clues in there.
I did get a little annoyed when someone was like, "Oh wow, finally an original concept from like Game Freak." And I'm like, "Did you not see Harmonite or even
Drill Dozer?
What was it? No, yeah, Drill Dozer. That's a great gem there in the GBA, and of course, Pocket Card Jockey, or
the
even
greatest game on 3DS. Absolutely,
it's awesome. And then
it actually really is awesome.
No, it really is great. What was the one that was not on Nintendo platforms? It was only on Steam and PS. Tempest the Badass Elephant or something.
Tempo
the Badass Elephant. I think. Tempo. I
don't know, but I'm sold on the title.
The elephant was definitely in.
Okay.
That's the only word I'm certain of.
Jeez.
So yeah. Do we reckon it's going to keep the name town?
No. It's too generic.
Fantasy Town. I don't know.
Fantasy Town. Yeah, I mean, it did look like a level 5 game, so
yeah,
it works.
Fantasy Town Life.
Fantasy Town Life.
The Town Life, or The Town, not to be confused with the Ben Affleck directed movie.
Sure.
That's the full title as well. Who wants to pick what to talk about next?
Ooh.
Colin, what do you want to pick?
Let me have a quick
peruse.
Google through the. Let's see.
Lots to choose from.
Did you guys want to get into the meaty news?
Yeah, why not?
Final Fantasy. Let's talk Final Fantasy.
Which one?
All the Final Fantasies? Yeah.
All the Final Fantasies. Let's cover it as a broad topic. Well, this was a huge direct for Final Fantasy in a very.
How many Final Fantasy games were announced for the Switch?
7, 9, Crystal Chronicles 12, 15 Pocket Edition. Crystal Chronicles. So that's 6 currently.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Remember
6,
the Chocobo Mystery
7,
Dungeon game?
8,
Probably got 7.
9. I got 9.
9?
9 Final Fantasy games.
That's a lot of Final Fantasy games in one direct.
So
I think that's a record.
I think
that really is.
In terms of number of Final Fantasy games announced in Nintendo Directs.
Yep.
I don't think there was more than one before.
Insane, really. When you look at... Okay, so they announced... Let's get the ports out the way.
Yeah, you just love the... You
Are they all ports? Which ones are ports?
Which one?
All of them. In fact, the fact that actually they're all ports.
They're all ports.
Oh, so you just want to get all... So you're excited for Final Fantasy and you're like...
All right, we'll talk about next, Colin.
There's ports.
Let's at least discuss the fact that Final Fantasy 7 is coming to a Nintendo system. And yet that was the one game that caused the rift between Square and Nintendo back in the day.
Yeah, he's got the main character from that Smash game, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
In the 7? That's what I did, right?
What surprises me, though, it's like, okay, we're not only getting these PS1 games, but we're getting Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, and 10 to the 10 and 10 to the HD remasters. So, but there's no 8. And I'm thinking, why is that the case?
There's a very good reason why there's no 8, which is an unfortunate reason. 8 is frowned upon in the Final Fantasy. Well, I kind of feel like, because I bet Square just looked at their sales data and saw that 8 sold the least out of all of them. Went, well, let's not put doing that one.
It seems strange when they're not like HD remasters. Like, surely there's not much extra effort.
No. The weirdest thing is...
weird, quirk to the game, which would be not worth the effort, or...
The weirdest thing about these is the fact that they're not coming out till 2019. Is that not bizarre?
I'm not sure it's the weirdest thing about the announcement.
I feel like it's the weirdest thing. The fact that these games are already out on other systems, so they can't be like, well, we'll just put it on the eShop.
Because it takes time to actually do these things?
Yeah, it might be just made the deal.
And plus,
I think it's weirder it's missing.
Well,
you have to coming out next year.
You have to look at this though when it comes to things like this. You have Pokemon, you have Smash coming in at that point. I think there's a reason why you want to spread this thing a little bit out in terms of being like this was going in this was going to the last bit of 2018 and spread that into like because I will say after watching this direct 2019 I'll save that to the end. I'll save the end when I feel like whatever. It just when it comes to this what we have a Final Fantasy. That makes me happy. That really does to me to see the game come onto a Nintendo platform.
The ports, but it's good.
Oh, I will. When Metroid Prime HD collection gets announced, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm like, yeah, it's just a port. It's just a port, Colin. Though I thought you said you're excited for it, but it's just a port.
I would agree with you. It's just a port, but I'll still play it.
That's the thing. It's still a port, but you're still gonna play it.
Well, to be fair, Colin, is it 3 ports or 1 port? Is it a port of the collection or is it?
Oh, I see what you mean. It would depend on because they have to rework 3. Surely.
Right. If they rework 3, but it's still called Metroid Prime Collection.
Oh, I don't think they can. Well, they could do. I don't know.
Well, it's not a trilogy anymore with the 4 coming out. But can I actually though ask about like okay the main Final Fantasy games that were on here that I wanted to pick out aside from the PS1 classic games is Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD, which I think just dropped on PS4, and that was available the day of the show.
Yes.
And then there was Final Fantasy 12 The Zodiac Age, which I think released last year, I believe. Or no, like this was the revamped version of it, which I think basically kind of sped up animations and things of traveling, which I thought to myself, I'm like, is there a thing called fast travel though in Final Fantasy? But unless I don't know, but
there is.
I'm assuming though with Final Fantasy 15 that there is. It's despite the chibi style with it, whatever is. It's still bringing full voice acting, which I think it is.
I don't know, but I know it's based on the mobile phone game.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is the phone. Well,
it's the episodic version
because it's called HD.
Yeah,
but most phones are at least
try and
HD.
gussy it up with the HD, but yeah,
Oddly, a lot of phones are better resolution than your TV is.
Exactly. So,
but yeah, it's meant to cover the same story. But in like a kind of just more bite-sized style.
It feels so. I don't want to say the word cash grabby, but it is kind of cash grabby. It feels like it to me.
Yeah,
it feels very quick. We can just slap it on the Switch and people will buy it. It's 15.
Well, it's a matter of getting this on, like, to getting on here. I mean, I don't blame them for putting something here. I was wishing that you could get that full-fledged one that we had on the PS4, like PS4 and Xbox One and PC, but obviously not being the case, knowing it's technical. Well, that's the technical limitations of the Switch right now, but also, apparently people have actually kind of enjoying this one so far, so that's good, I guess. I've heard half and half good and bad things equaling to Final Fantasy 15 from my hardcore Final Fantasy fans about how
I've heard from my older brother, who's a ardent Final Fantasy fan, that 15 is terrible. Ooh. So there we go. I was like, okay, I'll take you over it. I don't need to do any more than that. One of them actually I thought was quite good. I think fits the Switch quite well. It's actually the world of Final Fantasy. Yeah, I think that's a really good fit for the Switch because of its Pokemon-like aesthetic.
And it's also a relatively recent game, unlike a lot of these other Final Fantasy ports. This was World of Final Fantasy was last year, I believe.
Well, it was last year. This is the was it the Miasmic edition or something?
Maximus?
I don't know. It's Square. They got weird names. Yeah, this is the powered up version. They didn't really explain what was in it too much, really, besides that you can change your main character to any of the main characters in the Final Fantasy games, which is cool.
Which before, in World of Final Fantasy, they were purely summons, but you can now change your main character to them?
I believe.
So you can play as them.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
There was more Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 8. And be like, yay!
Another thing is that, we're getting Crystal Chronicles HD, which that also kind of was announced. That was technically announced, dropped before recently because it was revealed a little bit after before the direct was delayed. I remember seeing I remember seeing some of the internet showed the GameCube adapter and showing the the adapters to the Game Boy Advance, and I said, "Hey, it's technically possible." And for those who don't know, yes, Crystal Chronicles was a game that required you not only you have four people with Game Boys. And you had to use basically the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance adapter to connect to the GameCube. That was the reason why I never played it.
So yes,
was that the connectivity cable?
Yes,
something along those lines.
Yeah, you were pushing that hard on GameCube and GBA for a while.
Oh, definitely, because the GBA was doing pretty well and the GameCube not so well in comparison.
Just piggyback on the system. Was it Pac-Man Versus also came out at the same time?
I'm not sure what the timing of it, but yeah, that was one of the.
Just around that sort of
time. And that got that was got a decent showing at E3. They really tried to boost.
I think are you confusing that with the Pac-Man Versus demo event in 2003, which birthed the Reaction Guys meme?
Was that not E3 then, or
that? No, I think I don't think that was shown at E3 because I think that game I think Crystal Chronicles got released in 2004, but no, I just remember that Pac-Man Versus was a highlight of that whole GameCube Game Boy Advance connectivity, and it made. Yes. But again, that's regardless. All I know is a bunch of Final Fantasy games are coming to the Switch. I'm happy for that. Can I bring over the sequels to Final Fantasy 13 because apparently I've heard Lightning Returns is pretty good and better than the actual 13. So,
well, that's not difficult because actual 13 is a very good game.
I don't know. I think there's some other numbered ones. I'd rather get the.
I am surprised that 8 didn't get. It's so blatant. 7, 9, 10.
There's no love for Squall, man, and his Gunblade.
And he's constant whinginess. Yeah.
Maybe this is it. Maybe they'll just make a thing of it.
That's because they're remaking things.
Eventually, they'll come out, and then people will decide they love it because
maybe they are remaking 8. After they've done 7, like we're going to do Final Fantasy 8.
Yeah. That's like I kind of had that theory, like, oh, maybe they're saving it because they're going to do a big remap. But it's like, oh, they're putting 7 out, so that doesn't really hold. Unless
even though 7, I think it's funny. We got the best of the PS1 RPGs and the worst. We got the best of the Final Fantasies and the worst. 7 is terrible. Just examine the story. The plot line is not very good.
I'm one of the belief that I say 7 is overrated, but it's still a critical and good game for what it introduced. A lot of Ocarina of Time did. A lot of people to their respective franchises. It's but I can understand why people love it. I can get why they are so attached to it.
It's one of those things because it was their first. It was most people's first 3D RPG, and so that's the reason why they attached to it. But yeah, it's not a good story. It's pretty. Well, not even that. No, it's not. It looks horrible. There you go. It looks ugly. I'll discover that as well. There you are.
You really need to check out Final Fantasy VII Mission Abridged then.
I've heard that's quite good.
It's hilarious. It is hilarious. It's the Team 4-Star guys did a really good job with it. So is it my turn to pick?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Like a lucky bag. You just don't know what you're gonna
or you can go for a few smaller ones. Up to you.
I'm gonna go for a few smaller ones once I actually get here and get my notes up. Well, let's talk about the tabletop games coming to Switch, which are from Osmodee. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I think so.
Osmodee?
I think so. But yeah, this is a part of the direct. I was like, oh, okay. I bet a lot of people are tuning out now, but this seems quite cool.
I wasn't too interested in myself.
You're one of the tuning out people.
Yeah, you're one of the tuning in people and the one who hates fun.
I almost fell into a coma. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good option for people. This one, it makes sense on a system like the Switch.
It makes sense. It makes sense on a tablet device. I'm not saying so much a Switch, but yeah.
Well, no, it's something you can take around. It's it's a very flexible system. Like you can have it with you. Can just prop it up and put out some Joy-Cons. Like it's something which is.
And then wait for the Switch to die while you're halfway through a board game.
Still, I'm having fun with it.
The battery should be fine. It shouldn't be too intensive.
I'm happy though. Pandemic is part of this one too. I had a lot of fun playing at a friend's house.
Yeah, definitely. And not one of the ones I'll pick up, but it's good to see a game like was it the Lord of the Rings, the Living Card game.
Never tried that one.
Yeah, it looks very much like.
Kind of like Harry Potter.
Like Hearthstone. It looks cool. I can't see myself genuinely jumping into it, but it's nice to see games like that. In general, I do like games like that. I'm just not much of a Lord of the Rings guy, to be honest.
But
cool.
they said the first of these is coming. It's like winter 2018. What is the first one here? It's Carcassonne, or I just butchered that name. I feel like so. Can somebody help me out?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Is that is it Carcassonne? Carcassonne?
Carcassonne. Sorry, my apologies.
There we go.
I was out there. That's how you say that.
Well, talking another one. City Skylines is now out for Switch. That they announced that.
Yeah, that was just dropped, wasn't it? That's a cool one. I've heard good things about the PC version.
Because we're not going to get a decent Sim City game anytime soon, so here you go. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's cool. It did look genuinely quite good. I'm like, it's fun.
Yeah, it's cool how you can drill down to an individual citizen sort of thing.
Right, yeah.
And see their needs and...
Cool.
Trying to think of another one that's really quick to talk about. Downwell. There was that.
Okay.
What was it? What was the game about? Unless this was actually in the. No, this was mentioned in the Japanese Direct. There was a lot of different things that got announced in there. The one thing that was very surprising in that Japanese Direct they also announced was Japan is getting a cloud-based version of Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I saw that. Yeah.
Keyword: a cloud-based version.
Cloud-based version. I kind of wish they would offer that elsewhere as well, because I would love to try that, just to test to see how well it works. But yeah.
Wow, we just hit through some other things. What else can we talk about?
We've not officially we talked about City Skylines, but we've not talked about Civilization 6.
Another game that got. I wish that didn't get. I mean, it would. You know what? That's perfect for the Switch. It really is.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
It's one I'm going to wait on the reviews for, though.
That's true.
I'm a little bit anxious just to make sure it's a good port.
Games can be a bit ropey.
Exactly, yeah, and it's the first console version of this game as well.
Yes.
Like, it's had a tablet version, which is mostly like a different game, as far as I'm aware. So I just want to make sure we're getting what we're thinking we're getting.
And it's playable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because either of those points could fall apart. I'm obviously hoping not, but yeah.
Yeah, and this one's going to release in November 16th.
This year, a game that's come out this year, amazing.
There's a few of those.
Oh yeah, they're there. Oh please. Can we talk about? Let's They actually had some more info on Demon Ex Machina. Or
yes.
Okay, I know we're getting some mispronunciation of this one right now. Okay,
like
when
Demon Ex Machina, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard that officially on the direct, and then I get confused by everybody else who knows Japanese or knows different like pronunciations of the word. And it's like, no, it's a Demon Ex Machina. I'm like, I'm just gonna follow with it. I'm gonna go switch back to Demon Ex Machina. So I was only a little bit when they said it was going to be launching, and I was like, firm release date, and it just still 2019. I was
still vague because 2019 is they're stacking 2019 pretty hard, which is a good thing. 2018 has been, I mentioned before, 2018 has been a less of a booming year than 2017 was, which it's hard to compare because 2017 had Zelda and Mario, so.
Zelda, Mario, and Splatoon 2, ARMS, and
all the big hitters.
Mario, everything gets into it. More and more footage I see about this, because I just adore any games with mechs, is that this is really kind of playing the sensibilities of just things I probably saw from games, like even whether it's Gundam, like this is from the Assault, like the guy who did this is from the Gundam games, I'm assuming. Right. Okay, or am I?
It's from Marvelous.
And then there's little bits that I see from Xenoblade Chronicles X, or even bits that I see from a little bit from like Zone of the Enders. So,
very strong feeling of Zone of the Enders for this game. That's cool.
Yeah, the 2019, and yeah, this one I'm looking really forward to.
I'm intrigued to see how much they feature it in later directs, if they keep it as a strong focus.
Well, I mean, they opened it up with the E3 Direct, and they knew that something was. I mean, that's the thing. This was something we just didn't expect, and they let it off with that. And of course, that got all of us thinking, like, "What is this?" And to this day, we're still talking about it. But yeah, 2019, still vague, but I don't know. I just want my mech game. That's it.
Cool. Well, we've not actually talked about the only truly new game here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Which, of course, is New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
Yes.
Coming out to the Switch next year, 2019.
January, I believe. So, and it does include the new Luigi U stuff, which, of course, for anybody who has... I never did get a chance to play on the Wii U because I just didn't bother to download it. And, of course, for everybody who's played, New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe U, is that... This edition has, essentially like Luigi, Toads, and was it Nabbit, I believe. And in this version, you have it turns into what I believe is
Toadette's in there, which replaces Toad.
Toad, yeah, good.
But she, upon getting a new item, transforms herself into a new character.
Peachette?
Peachette, yes.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. That's weird.
It is weird. It looks terrible.
Do you reckon the only reason they've gone through this elaborate character transformation and creation is
just so they can sell us an old game?
I just want to say before anybody even mentions in the show, no, we're not talking about that whole thing with Mario Kart and Toad and a certain political figure and things like that. This is
no.
Yeah, this is a PG show. I'm sorry, we're not doing that.
The point I was going to make is, do you reckon they've gone through all this effort and confusion purely so they let you play as Peach while Peach is captured? Is that it?
I guess so.
And it's ridiculous.
Exactly. I think that is truly it. Yet they've done the most oddest of things. Well, as Harrison mentioned, maybe not the most oddest of things, but close to the oddest of things.
It does some really weird things.
So now Toads can evolve into people and answer questions. And
I want to too deep into it, Mario. Like the whole universe.
But no, with this new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, I mean, that was just another cross list of games, basically, that, yes, for people realized did not own a lot of Wii U's and did not buy a lot of games. Well, people were missed out on it, so it
isn't
makes
it considered the weakest of the new Super Mario games?
Technically, it is. I mean, unless you want to count some weird way of Mario Maker.
Well, I mean, that's a whole new...
No, I think U's meant to be pretty up there on the new games. I think it's definitely more favourable than 2 for the 3DS.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
And I think people would say it was better than the original DS New Super Mario Bros.
Really? I'm not sure about that.
In fact, from the opinions I hear, I hear that it's the better of the new games.
I agree. I agree on that one. And even its DLC, from what I've been told, has been just for anybody who likes that bit of challenge or painstakingly bit of challenge that you saw in the Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels. This stuff is for you. And I will tell you though, if there's one level in like that final level that you get, no, I'm confusing that with Super Mario 3D World, which is a game that needs to be ported over to Switch because more people need to play that game. Because it was awesome.
Can we ease up on the ports?
Nah, no. More people need to deserve to play these games that are going to die on the Wii.
More people need more ports.
Mm-hmm.
That's the official ruling of the podcast.
Yep.
We still got games to go through though. Should we do some quick fires?
Yeah. Let's what about the Mario Tennis Aces update? Let's talk about that.
So we're getting some new characters. We're getting Birdo. We're getting P.E. Piranha. And someone else, I think.
Mario characters.
Yeah, they're free. Also, as part of an update today, it now has the best of voice chats for the Nintendo Online, Nintendo Switch Online voice chat app.
Voice chat. Yeah. I like when I tried setting that as well. The little video they showed of how great it is to be able to do voice chat with other people in the room.
Yeah, that's a feature. That's something you don't get with those systems.
It's called speakerphone, people. It's not something that's
exactly.
Do we want to talk briefly though about the Nintendo Switch Online, which has already launched? Which okay. First off, what has everybody thought so far?
Smooth, surprisingly smooth.
I will say smooth going through menus, even though it's in completely lackluster. And knowing when you found out I can't send my cloud saves for Splatoon 2 or even the future Pokemon games, it does make me worry about Smash. It did feel like going up to right now, Nintendo was doing the check boxes of how not to do online. And the thing that kind of keeps me oh, this would just, I'm not paying, make some people I'm not going to pay for this. The reason why I'm doing the free trial right now for about a week. The reason why I'm doing it is I want to make sure that my Zelda and my Mario Odyssey and even my Xenoblade saves are safe and sound in the cloud. That's all I want to do.
Are you expecting your Switch just spontaneously catch on fire or?
No, I was okay. No, I'm just before when they announced that the cloud saves were going to go there. My only thought was okay, just care for this thing like I'm carrying a suitcase full of the nuke codes.
Gently put it down.
But no, I do like how the NES menu is, and I know it's I've played some Mario Brothers 3 online, and I like how it's just snappy. So
yeah, I like it. I'm not a huge NES fan, so I would love Super Nintendo to be a thing on it. On that one, but
maybe soon we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it had what sounded like a dumb feature of what it was hey, just all these games are just gonna be online for this service. It's shaping up to be kind of almost really interesting. But I will say though, yes,
it's interesting. It's kind of like the Nintendo version of Netflix. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, Netflix. Netflix.
Netflix. Oh no.
But we'll probably talk more about. I'm assuming Lewis will talk more about our experiences with Switch Online in a future episode. Wink, wink, nod.
I think that much at least is fairly certain. In a future episode, we'll be talking about it. More likely sooner rather than later. I think that's as committal, non-committal as you'll get out of me currently.
That's called foreshadowing, kids.
It is. It's very clever and smart.
They can't call it Netflix, can't they? That's terrible.
I'm sure they could. No, I guess the only reason they couldn't is probably someone's already gone and bought the thing.
Can we talk about how that Splatoon 2 is just getting more up I'm perfectly fine with that.
Can we talk about how Splatoon 2 is getting new updates, and I'm more than perfectly fine with the continued support.
Can we talk about the fact that I've still not yet to play Splatoon 2, and I'm okay with that?
Sure. We can add that.
I mean,
the better, Colin, to be honest.
Sure. I mean, I'll call you a heathen, either regardless of that, but still.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
So, Colin, as someone who hasn't played Splatoon 2 yet, what did you think of this video they showed?
Didn't sell me.
It didn't sell you, but no,
Didn't sell me.
It was very particular. So, what did you think after watching it? What did you get out of it?
To be honest, I don't really remember it.
Because that's my kind of a point. Because it didn't. There was no actual English written words as part of the trailer. It was all done in the Splatoon language. Mm-hmm. Nothing was actually spoken. Nothing was actually told.
I think when I start hearing the Splatoon talk type thing, I just tune out.
I was going to say, because I'm not sure how different it would have been if you didn't. If you were like, all right, let's try and absorb as much as I can here. Oh. As someone who hasn't played any Splatoon, I don't know what you would get out of it apart from just the vibe. Did you get a vibe out of it?
Not even that. I didn't really get much.
How did you know? Can we at least, though, okay, aside from the fact that we have somebody who has or has not played the game, can we at least talk about the fact that what this trailer suggests is for Splatoon 4.0. And it did have a really catchy music video vibe to it, whatever. I dug it, and obviously
it's intro to an anime, basically.
That's what I heard. That was in the back of my mind, thinking what is this familiar to? Oh yeah, that. Aside from new clothes, characters, weapons, and all that, blah blah blah, and new stages, does this look like it's shaping up to a version of Splatoon Battle Royale that's coming to the Switch?
No, I've looked into this.
Lewis has spent many countless nights.
I've worked it out. There's red string everywhere. I've pulled it all down now, though.
Oh jeez.
What it means at times on 100 battle, because I did have that thought after I was like, are they doing it? Are they going to do? But no, what it is, they're doing some changes to Splatfests. I won't go into all the details. What that one is in particular, when that pops in, it's basically you're playing, it's going to be rare for a large amount of Splatfest points. But they're doing some big changes to how Splatfest work. And
they're not going to have really crappy...
I'm guessing
North Pole versus South Pole nonsense.
They made
recently though they're going to be doing retro versus modern.
That's true. That's
there is no hope in this.
You can vote for that now, Colin.
Mm-hmm. Choose your side.
Yeah, Splatoon 2. Yeah, choose your side. Join in the fight.
No, I'm reading right now. Okay, they said it says starting with version. This is from the Splatoon. Squid Research Lab. It says here, 2 new modes, normal and pro, replace the previous solo and team modes. In normal mode, you can jump into a Splatfest battle of your own and join up to 1 to 3 friends from the same Splatfest team. If you join as a group, 2 to 3 random players will be matched up to make a group of 4. In this mode,
there's a lot of detail in this rate.
Yeah. Oh wow, I'm reading. Yep, there's way too much detail here.
I reckon if you want to hear more, check out the. Is it the Squid Labs?
Yes. Yep, it's on the Squid Research Lab site on Tumblr.
Cool, yeah. Check out the Squid Research Lab. There's a lot of detail there if you want to hear the gritty details. And if you do, I'm sure you're already on your way if you're not already.
One thing we did forget to mention about Nintendo Online is, aside from joining the service, you do get the free special offers, which I hope is not just hey, here's 30% off these 3DS and Wii U titles. I'm no, that's not what I want.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
No. The Switch is gonna get a proper D-pad, as in there's going to have NES Joy-Cons. And hey, people want proper D-pads, man, for some games. But the only thing is, these will only work for the Switch Online, and that's kind of a bummer.
I kind of like it, to be honest. I don't mind it.
I mean,
it's interesting. I wonder if it will technically be supported. If a developer wants to.
Yeah, because
Yacht Club Games wants to add it to Shovel Knight, if they'll be allowed to or not, sort of thing.
Or even the Mega Man Legacy Collection. There's definitely people want to use it, but
I wonder if it's more of a notice that by default this won't work. And I guess main reason being that it doesn't have many buttons.
Yeah, as I say, it's the shoulder buttons. It's basically just basic.
So if they just turn it on by default, most games would just half work, which doesn't look good.
I know. I do like how they do charge via the side of the Switch console.
Yeah,
and I did see
they drain your Switch's battery, which is not good.
When it's what?
what?
Don't they
Wait,
power
what?
off? Don't they run off the Switch itself then?
Not when it's
you don't
docked.
use it when it's actually attached, oddly, because you've just got two NES controllers snapped to your Switch. It doesn't work.
That's it. Although I did see
I
did see a great Photoshop of somebody putting
Are the N64 controllers?
No. The Nintendo GameCube chainsaw controller from Resident Evil 4.
Oh wow! What's the other side?
That could work.
Oh, I'd buy those in a hot minute.
Wow, that's respects to whoever put that one together.
That's a pretty obscure controller as well.
Has anyone done the bongos yet?
Oh, that actually kind of works.
Snap on some bongo.
Oh god, that would be really good. Just have
to be fair, you'd have like a pad each. That could almost work.
Yeah, but it could be like just a flat pad that you just slap. It doesn't have to be a bongo. But yeah.
But for comical effect, you have a bongo either side for 2 players. You see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's about. You can't have a single pad each. That would be ridiculous. You look like a fool drumming on that.
Wow.
Well, so we've not mentioned Katamari Damacy Reroll yet.
Ooh, this one surprised me too.
Yeah, because it's the first time it's on a Nintendo system for one. Which I don't know how it got through like the Wii era, as it were, and not had a port. It seemed like if a Wii remote you'd roll it, sort of thing. That would be good for the time. But then this looks really cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It's another port.
It's another port. Have you played this series?
I played one on PlayStation 2, I believe.
You've played one more than me, if your memory is correct.
Yeah. So. And really, to me, this gets me hyped for this one as well. So I don't care if it's port, Colin, because guess what? I've never played. I've seen people play it.
That makes perfect sense. I can agree with you on that, Harrison. If you've never played it, it's new to you. That's perfectly fine.
But isn't that the argument most of the time?
No, but sometimes it's just lazy, though.
Oh, okay.
That's my argument.
That's not, well, I wouldn't really call that lazy. That's more them reading the market and seeing that, like, hey, there's a market for 8 because, like, when let me say, okay, because when it came to, okay, when I mentioned earlier on that when you look back at like the GameCube, PS2, and even the Xbox era, or even to that generation above, the market is there for HD remasters. Why? Because they want them all in this one little place here to actually see, to have these. And to me, that's just who owns Bandai Namco owns this, right? Katamari Damacy.
I think so.
Yeah, and they are reading the market, and especially with the Switch right now, they see the market where it's like, hey, HD remaster, why not? Let's put it on here. It's business.
I'm sure it is.
Fair enough. I guess in a somewhat similar style. I'm trying to stretch the connection here. But we also had Yoshi's Crafted World, which was the first time we officially heard the title. It came up on the store listing recently.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've had a better look at what this game is. Obviously, we have seen it shown a few times now. But I
like the idea of like reaching the end of the course and it flips. And you run back to the course, but a different.
Well,
path.
yeah, it's a matter of like you look at these and it's like, wow, I can actually finish the course like going from any type of direction. Well, whether like forwards or backwards.
Right. So, yeah. It's a cool little concept. I like it.
And it almost like when I see it was Crafted World and it's looking very cardboard, and I'm thinking,
imagine different themes. It'd be different, like one would be like Clay World or.
Yeah, but it makes. I'm sure we could be able to make this. Could say like, hey, are we making levels out of this? But also,
it looked like Little Big Planet anyway. If they added the level creation element, it's going to be eerily similar.
Yeah. Or people are like, I'm saying like, maybe there might be Labo support. Who knows?
Labo integration. Make your own cardboard levels. Scan it in somehow.
How that even work?
Well, I mean, Labo does weird stuff like.
I know it does.
You can, that fishing game, you can cut a shape and insert it, and then that shaped fish appears in the game. So there's been, and actually on the motorbike one, you can scan in an object with the camera, and that becomes the outline for the course. So they've already treaded similar grounds, even though it's kind of a bit of a joke. Maybe it's not out the realms of possibility for like some Labo integration into this game. But that's some sort of stuff like that. Colin is shaking his head for the audio listeners.
Well, when's this one dropping?
2019, I believe.
Well, did they say spring? I could have swore they said spring.
Oh, they might have.
Yep, spring 2019. So otherwise, it looks like any of the Yoshi games, it looks adorable as hell.
Okay, so the last bit of small news we have out of this, Final Fight, and well, I'm literally verbatim reading this now. Apologies. Capcom announced the. I don't have the name on it. What's the name?
The name? It's called Capcom Beat 'em Up. The Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle.
That's the one. Yeah, the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle.
And it already launched. It launched yesterday.
It's already out, and it features I guess, just over a handful of arcade beat 'em ups by Capcom.
Yeah.
It's arcade faithful ports.
What do we got in here?
That's what they're aiming for. The arcade of the versions.
Yeah, that one looks like well-made ports. We got King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, Warriors of Fate, Battle Circuit, Captain Commando, and Armored Warriors. So, and that's already out.
Good, actually. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm not like have a particular like connection to any of those games.
Right. I do. Oh, I do. Especially those were games that, like, as a kid with my older brother, we actually would just we would just throw quarters into these games just constantly. So this one to me, I really want to check out. I hope to try out.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the main difference. I think for certain people, whether it's just one in particular or it's a few of those that they did play, I think this bundle was going to be quite appealing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like an obvious statement, but I just mean, it seems like a nice collection in that sense. It's kind of to the point. It's focused. You kind of want it or you don't. I feel a bit Marmite-y.
A bit Marmite.
Marmite bundle. And then we got Smash stuff.
This one is just a bundle.
The Smash bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a Smash news, but yeah, let's do the bundle. That makes sense. And so it's a Smash themed dock, and let's not forget those Joy-Cons. Fancy Joy-Cons.
I do wish they were sold separately, though.
Oh, really? I tease. I don't think they look particularly great because, especially the right one, is just a single line.
Yeah,
is
that's
the only difference.
How terrible is that? It's awful.
I'm just wondering if it actually looks good, maybe attached to the Switch, because I've not actually seen that. And then it's a bit more forgivable if like the system itself looks.
It's probably meant for like not the dock, but for the grip.
Oh yeah, that too as well. But yeah, it's just weird to think. Oh, that's that. The only thing unique about that grey Joy-Con is a slightly lighter grey strip across it at the bottom of it.
I would actually, and I do like the design of that dock. It makes me say like, the only incentive for me aside from having a second TV in another room to get a second dock would just be like,
destroy your first dock.
Not destroy. No, not that. Obviously, I'm just saying. Hey,
not a monster con.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do that. No, it's like these different design docks. I'm like, yeah, that would give me at least a little bit more incentive. I know it's a little bit pricey. It's a bit pricey to buy a new dock, but this one I'm like, okay. But yeah, just another bundle. So, and
I guess that way you can kind of mix and match or upgrade. Opposed to on a 3DS, if you want a fancy new model, you can go out and buy a fancy new model type thing. Or I guess on the new, it was the new 3DS, wasn't it? Not the XL, where you had
the faceplates.
We had the faceplates.
Yeah.
So I guess like you can go out and get a new dock, and it's not the cheapest of things by any means. But it's very much different to replacing your Switch.
Release faceplates for your dock.
Well, I guess in a way you kind of can.
I think it's like grips onto the front because the front of the.
There's unofficial versions, which is kind of all you really need.
Yeah.
When it's that, because just because the nature of it, it's a thing which holds it. It's not the system itself.
This one is actually kind of interesting because it's actually releasing a full month before the game, but it includes a code for it. So I find that, but I guess that's Nintendo's way of like, let's get this out knowing because before the Black Friday and Thanksgiving rush.
Yep.
So it's
a very smart business.
It's a smart one on several fronts. Yeah, you mentioned about like getting the stock in front before Black Friday, and I mean that in itself, like they're gonna.
And it also kind of nullifies the chance of a cartridge shortage, but people already have a download version.
I mean that's part of it. Like they have the cake and eat it, as it were, because they have the system out for Black Friday, even though the game's not even out yet. But people will be buying the bundle. They'll be buying the game essentially because it's part of the value of it. And they'll also they'll get chances to restock this year, as it were, opposed to just having the one run. And they've also going to have obviously GameCube controllers. Don't get me wrong, I almost said proper Pro controllers there. They have Pro controllers as well, which is Switch themed, as Smash Bros themed. So there's a lot of Smash Bros like stuff that they're going to be selling. So I think they can get us ahead even off the actual game. To avoid shortages. And they can restock for when the game actually comes out. Like with extra controllers and extra bundles and everything else. I think they're hoping it's going to do pretty well.
It's going to sell a few of them.
That and let's go.
Yeah.
And we have one more thing to talk about.
That final thing.
That final thing. Two final things really. We had a new game announcement and a new character announcement for Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yes, and of course I think Sakurai up to his old trolling tactics again.
Yeah, this was weird. I'm not sure if this one actually worked.
No, I don't think it works. It was
trolly, but I'm not sure if it was trolly for the right reasons.
I'm like, don't tell me she's in Smash.
What do you mean? She's the face of Animal Crossing.
No.
Yeah, she is. She's got her own account. She's got her own account.
It should be Mr. Rossetti, don't you, Colin?
Oh, absolutely. Now we're talking.
No, it's like she is. No, she's technically.
He knows how to Smash.
She is technically the face of the mascot of Animal Crossing now.
Yeah, she's in Mario Kart. Not many people get that sort of position.
Mm-hmm.
Look how long it Link.
But yes, Isabella's in Smash, and I forgot. I saw one reaction video of a couple girls watching like huge Animal Crossing fans, and just seeing them scream with joy seeing this happen. And then near the end, what else did we get? What else did we get, Lewis, at the end of this video?
Well, we also got a new Animal Crossing game finally confirmed for the Switch. It's coming out 2019, and that's literally all we know.
Yeah, I did. But in that same video, they were like asking, like, "Oh, you want a new?" I was like, "Come on, where's a new Animal Crossing?" And it does a smash cut to them with the logo on there, and they're sitting there screaming. And all I'm thinking is like, man, for a lot of bad that sometimes the video game industry and things within it can be like toxic, I'm just glad I can see something good and see some people get really happy about video games like that. It just warms my heart. But and in this case though, I think Isabelle is technically not an Echo Fighter because she took up a spot during the roster. So
that is congratulations.
Congratulations, Isabelle. You're not an Echo.
I can't say anything else besides that.
Get to join the lofty heights of Dr. Mario. Not being an Echo.
Well, I did find out though. Well, you guys know what the difference is between what they have in the Echo Fighter and what we thought was clone characters. Is
did you listen? Minimal.
Well, no. Did you listen on the latest Nintendo Power podcast where they had a couple Smash? One of Smash. I forgot who it was. One of Smash professional Smash competitor on there, and they were, I believe. I think Holly actually had a question answered on that show. She did. And I think the question was based on Echo characters. If I'm correct, I probably not. If I'm misreading that, but they asked him, what is the difference between what we have with Echo characters and what we have with Dr. Mario? Well, thing is, Dr. Mario is very heavier. His hitbox is much different. And of course, his own little different style that he does. Whereas the way he described it is like, think of those characters as 60 to 70% the same as their counterparts that they're based on, whereas Echo Fighters are more 95% the same aside from different animations. That's the way they describe an Echo character, is that that's way closer to a clone as opposed to what we see with like Dr. Mario, or even when we saw. It doesn't
quite justify it for me being like, oh, but yeah, because before it's like, oh, we're going to reduce the amount of clone characters. They've thrown that out the window. Now it's like, yeah. They're called Echo Fighters now. They're not technically clones.
Colin, the thing is, though, if you actually look at sort of tournament-wise, there's people who really like using those characters because they are that different and they have that different moveset in terms of feel. Whereas I could definitely say like, hey, I like Lucina or Marth, whatever. You can just say like, well, there's just that teensy little difference to it.
Yeah.
I feel like you're selling that a little bit low to it, but
I do like the fact they let you group the characters together with their Echo characters on the character select screen. I thought that's a good touch.
It's a cool option.
well, it is. But I'm gonna have that whole roster out either way because I just like how my menu had just expand. But
And I'm just wondering if it gets a little bit too small portably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. But do we just want to end though on thoughts on Animal Crossing? Even though we didn't see anything, I did like how it just showed Tom Nook looking at a computer screen. You're thinking like, what is this going on?
He looked like he was just so depressed. It's just like
No. Somebody actually edited in like a smash cut theme, like him being a new character, him looking at the screen, and it says Tom Nook loses his kids in the divorce.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, oh god, that's upsetting.
That's brutal. But yeah,
Are they still running the shop or?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were in Newleaf, weren't they?
They were.
They were. Oh yeah, they were running the shop. I forgot.
Yeah.
Brutal. Dark story.
Uh,
But yeah, I think Isabel is going to be a cool addition to Smash. I think like recently we've had some more like cooler characters, and it's nice in a weird way, a bit refreshing to have more just cute character.
It is adorable. It is quite adorable.
Yeah, and it's it's a good representation in that sense, alongside Villager for Animal Crossing. And yeah,
I'm
hopefully
curious if they have like one or two big characters yet to announce. I'm wondering if they pulled it out.
I think we'll know when the last one's announced in that sense.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll know.
Yeah, I think they failed if the last character gets announced and like time goes on and people don't know that was the last. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got at least a big character still to come.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee more than one though, but there probably will be, which is ridiculous. Because originally I was thinking, there'll probably be 3 at most.
Yeah.
Like very originally.
I'm looking forward to doing the going for Smash mode, like doing classic, like get the challenge. We got to do every single character.
Get those amiibos.
Some of these characters I'm gonna be like, oh, do I really have to do this?
Yeah, get those amiibos.
Yeah,
simple. Just buy all the characters.
Yeah.
At £10 to £15 or dollars a pop.
Yeah. No.
Times that by what it 70 characters yet?
We're if not counting the Echo characters, we're up to 68.
Not counting Echoes.
Yeah, we're at 68.
That's correct. Damn. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. But hey,
I feel
like
it's too much.
No, it's too much. It's like it's called
the original Smash of what, like 8 characters?
12.
12.
It started with 8. Yeah.
It's called Ultimate for a reason.
I don't want to get into why it's called Ultimate. I don't want to get into why it's called Ultimate. But yeah.
I'll be honest. Yeah, when Sakurai's kind of talking about like, oh yeah, when we had a decision to either like build a top of what we did last time or start from scratch and have a smaller roster, and he's like, yeah, we like the reason. Yeah, we are calling it Ultimate, or I think it's going to be hard for this game to be beat in terms of amount of characters. I didn't quite know how far he was going.
It ever comes out.
Well, what they would probably do is they rework it because who knows if this is going to be the last one that Sakurai does. He needs to be freed from Smash jail. I love the work he's done.
He needs to be freed from Smash jail.
The man needs to go up.
That's the worst type of jail, to be fair.
Well, I mean, no, he needs to be put back into Kid Icarus jail because I want another sequel to that game.
Yeah.
You will not talk slander about that game, Colin. You will stay quiet.
Okay.
I'm not going to incarcerate the man purely for my want of a new Kid Icarus. Unfortunately, he must be a free bird and fly away. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for our Nintendo Direct discussions.
Yeah.
And that does get us very close to the end of the show. We got a few little bits. Most importantly, though, definitely most importantly, me and Harrison are currently at a draw. And that's a problem. As the house, that makes me nervous. But I am obliged to not just offer the double or nothing offer, but you must take it, essentially, because you must get us out of this bind. And so I've got one more question for you, Harrison.
Yes, let's do it.
It's in the same format as before. However, before the questions are about which games and which games weren't on the collection for the Nintendo Switch Online service, this is for the NES Classic. And let me double check. This is specifically for the American version for you, Harrison.
Okay.
And so there are going to be 4 games. One of these was not on the NES Classic in America. You will be limited on time, and you also only have one choice. Well, you have one chance. So
let's get it on. Come on, throw it at me.
You have Mega Man 2, Super Mario Bros. 2, Castlevania 2: Simon's Quest, Zoda's Revenge, Star Tropics 2. Which one wasn't on the NES Classic?
That would be the vastly underrated and sequel to Star Tropics, Zoda's Revenge.
Star Tropics 2, you are correct. You double your points.
Awesome, I did it.
Which, from the start of the episode with 0 to the end of the episode with 6, you have trounced us all, which means you don't have to answer this right now, but our bonus episode will be your brainchild from either the world of Nintendo or not, anything at all. Do you have anything in mind yet, or do you need a little bit of time?
Well, I figured knowing that we're going to be doing like our bonus episodes, and I figured it would just be like, aside from just let's limit the things as far as things we like outside of Nintendo as far as games, but also we can if we want. But also, I just figured I'll just talk about movies and music we've been listening to and things like that. Get people to know what we like and dislike.
So it's going to be a non-Nintendo show.
Yeah, non-Nintendo show.
A little bit more about the hosts.
There can be some Nintendo. There can be. I'm just saying.
It can be, okay, but yeah. It's definitely not an Nintendo exclusive show.
It's just basically the talk about things in pop culture. That's the same. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Hopefully that sounds good for you as well out there. If you do please check out patreon.com/Nintendo Voice, and you'll get that episode when it goes up soon. And so before we end the show, as we do, we'll go around and let you know how you can get hold of us and anything else we've been up to. And Harrison,
yes,
as always, would you like to go first?
Sure. You can reach me at Twitter at @Milfeld, and if you want to reach my friend code, it's pinned to the top of my profile.
And yourself, Colin?
Yes, you can also find me on Twitter at Highly Bard. My Switch friend code is also pinned to my profile. You can also find my streams on twitch.tv/TheHighlyBard.
And for myself, if you want to get hold of me, best place is Twitter. The name is Leuvision, and the way you spell that is LEUVSION. If you want my Nintendo Switch friend code, it's on my Twitter profile. Not pinned to the top of my profile. And I think I've done enough plugs in general for this episode. But if you just want to contact us, give us feedback, email hello@nintendovoice.com, or Twitter for all of us is @NintendoVoice. So thank you once again for listening or for watching, and this has been Nintendo Voice.
See you all around, everybody.